They are real. They exist. Can you believe it? I got my hands on the brand new Welcome Committee Frankie Stein doll. This doll is so weird, so strange, so complicated. I'm glad I have them, but just very bizarre and unusual all around. We've known about this doll for what feels like 2 years now since stock photos have been revealed, and they've just had a complicated history. I'm relieved because I have them, but it was a lot of work, a lot of effort, nothing unethical, which I'll get into, but I want to share everything about this doll before I unbox them. I do plan on unboxing them, so stay tuned, but there's going to be a long-winded intro of me sharing a lot of details and context of how I got this doll in my possession. So let's get started. All right, I'm gonna do my best to share everything anecdotally. I might not have dates like 100% correct, but bear with me. So it was some 2 years ago that we first saw stock photos for this Welcome Committee Frankie. And typically how things work in like the doll toy world, if you're new, is when we see stock photos, typically they're from like retail listings or they do get leaked internally. I don't know all of the logistics behind that, but when you see a stock photo, you can anticipate the doll coming out in the next, say, 5 to 8 months, give or take, plus or minus a few months here or there. So we saw stock photos for this doll 2 years ago, and we're now only seeing them physically right now. And even then, it's still complicated because you can't buy them from a retailer. It's just offered through a customer service chain. It's confusing, okay? But when we saw these stock photos, everyone was really hyped for this doll because they are very explicitly LGBTQ plus themed. It's Welcome Committee Frankie. They're welcoming new students to Monster High. You can see there's a little poster. You can see all of the pride regalia that Frankie is donning. Also, this is still early into G3 where, Frankie was sporting like a pink lip for every doll. So at the time, 2 years ago, Frankie getting a black lip was pretty cool. It's still cool now, but at the time, 2 years ago, everyone was just really hyped for this doll. And after the stock photos came out, it was rumored and pretty sure that they were going to be a Target exclusive. And then for whatever reason, I think that fell through. I say for whatever reason, I'm just speculating as a fan. I mean, we've seen Target's recent stance on DEI and everything. And from my own personal observations, in the past year, 2 years, I've personally noticed that Target's like pride section has been dwindling and getting smaller and smaller. So my guess is that Target, seeing that this doll is like LGBTQ plus themed, pulled back and they no longer wanted them as a retail exclusive. So eventually this doll made its way over to Amazon. There was an Amazon listing for Welcome Committee Frankie. I was able to pre-order them. Everyone's excited. There's pre-orders. Cool. This doll, on Amazon, when you pre-order things, it'll tell you like estimated arrivals, like when they should be coming to you. Amazon usually ships things out super last minute. Like I got my Scary Sweet birthday dolls recently, and it was like they were supposed to come here like, I don't know, May 5th, and it was like May 4th, and they still hadn't shipped. Like they'll ship super last minute, okay? This doll was slated to ship, according to Amazon at the time, within like 2 days of whenever that time was a year ago. And within those 2 days of like this doll being prepared to get shipped out, all of a sudden, all of the pre-orders on Amazon got canceled. Everyone was posting on social media, on Reddit, like, did everyone else's pre-orders get canceled? Because mine did, and it was a whole thing. So the pre-orders get canceled, and since those initial Amazon pre-orders got canceled, there's been nothing. There's been no news about this doll. No one's known if we're ever gonna get them. And if you actually go on Amazon and you look for this doll's listing, the listing is currently inactive. You can like click an Amazon listing and you can like see the stock photos and add it to a list and things like that. Currently, their stock photo, their landing page is just inactive. So that's the context for Welcome Committee Frankie. Flash forward to present day, some 2 weeks ago, and we have someone on Reddit post that they are getting a replacement doll from Mattel, and that replacement doll is Welcome Committee Frankie. This was April 15th on a Tuesday. This was our first inkling that this doll was real. This post, I don't think gained too much traction, but me being like terminally online, I saw this. And I think there's some skeptics like, are you sure? Like this doll's not released. Like why would Mattel be sending you this? Now for more context, there were some fans back when the Creep Productions were coming out. I don't remember if this is wave 1 of Creep Productions or wave 2 of whatever, that people had been sent certain creep productions as replacements. I think like Draculaura prominently before she was officially released. Like that was something that happened in the Monster High community, right? Fans caught on to like, wait, you got a Draculaura creep production as a replacement. So a lot of people started reaching out to Mattel so they too could get a Draculaura creep production as a replacement before the doll officially released. So this isn't the first time that Mattel has done this before, where they've offered a doll through their customer service channels as a replacement when the doll has not yet officially been released. So not too unusual, still kind of weird, but I want to add that context if you're confused about like why or how this happened. All right, so someone posts on Reddit April 15th that they're getting sent this doll as a replacement, and who knows if it's going to happen. Not even 4 days later, on Instagram, April 19th, does someone actually post that they received this doll in person. This was our first actual inbox sighting of Welcome Committee Frankie. I think it was Instagram user Monstagram. I'll add their name right here. They post gorgeous doll photography, love their account, but they posted that they got this doll in. So now all of the rumors are laid to rest because we now have seen them for the very first time, that they exist, that they are real, and everyone is just going ballistic, myself included. But we find out, once again, it's just reaffirmed that they got the doll sent to them as a replacement through Mattel customer service because, you know, they had an issue with the doll, presumably, okay? So it's exciting that this doll is, you know, real, but still just kind of weird and annoying that you just can't directly purchase them. You have to have an issue with the doll. It's just very frustrating. And at the time, I had no issues with any dolls because, you know, I unbox my dolls and they look fine, and I go about my day, I go about my life. So I'm sure myself and a lot of others out there are frustrated because it's like, what are you supposed to do if you want this doll? You just, you know, you can't create an issue out of thin air. Either there's something wrong with your doll or there isn't. Or you know, maybe you resort to more unethical means, which I'm not going to judge. You know what? You got to do what you got to do. So that's all I'll say on that stance. I know there's a lot of opinions on that topic, but I did get my Frankie ethically, okay? So I actually posted a video, I think on the 24th, of my fantastic scooter Draculaura. Here she is. And in that video, I pointed out and showed that in the back of her head, she has like broken hairs right here that were like burnt or singed off. And there's like a whole burnt piece on her head right here, like something hot melted this whole section of her hair. And I was kind of very nonchalant, if I'm being honest, because this doll has polypropylene, and knowing me, I'll probably reboot her one day. So like when there's an issue with polypropylene, I don't really bat an eye because I'm not like, it's not like great hair quality in the first place. But I noticed this and I was like, wait. I wonder if I reached out to Mattel about this hair issue, if I could get a Welcome Committee Frankie. So I decided to reach out to Mattel. I called them on April 25th, a Friday, and this is a little long-winded, so bear with me. But I called Mattel because I was trying to enter in the information through the customer service portal, and like it wasn't working. So I called Mattel and I talked to a customer service agent, share with them what happened, like, hey, I got fantastic suitor Draculaura. Her hair looks like it was singed and burned off in the back. Cool. So the agent's like, okay, here's your case number, write this down. I'm gonna send you a follow-up email with instructions and like what to do. So I get that follow-up email, and in that email, he's basically asking me to take a picture of the issues of this doll, but he also wants me to like write down the case number on a piece of paper and take a photo of the physical case number written with my doll. So I write the case number, take my photos, send my response back on Friday. Okay, I send my response back and I hear back nothing. So I'm like, and this is all done by like the afternoon, by like 12:30, I would guess. So I'm like, okay, there's a couple hours left in the day. Let me wait and see if I hear back. Friday passes, hear nothing. You know, I have to wait the whole weekend because they don't work on the weekend. Monday rolls around and I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, maybe they'll respond back to me today. Like, who knows? Hopefully. I'm just, at this point, it's just wishful thinking because like, I'm also thinking in the back of my head, like, of course, like I'm complaining about something that Mattel doesn't think is serious, which is like totally normal. Like, you know, I'm shooting my shot, I'm taking a risk. Maybe they're just like, you know what, that little bit of hair in the back of the head, that's nothing to worry about. Sorry, dude, you're SOL. That's what I was thinking. But I am kind of determined. So I send a follow-up email to Mattel and I'm like, hey, just checking in. Don't mean to bother you, but like, do you have any updates? Okay, this is on Monday. I wait the rest of the day, still hear back nothing. Okay, Tuesday rolls around. At this point, it is what? What's the day? Oh, it's the 29th. Okay, so I started this on Friday. I'm now Tuesday, the next week, and they finally respond back to me. And they're basically like, okay, we don't have any replacements, but we can offer you a refund. And they're like very lengthy in their details. They're like, it can be check or Zelle or PayPal. And I'm kind of like, damn, like shit, like I'm not gonna get welcome committee Frankie. And a refund is cool, but like even with the refund, like I still can't go and buy this doll, like whatever. Also, they were asking for the receipt, which was kind of complicated because I didn't have the receipt. So whatever. But I respond to them on Tuesday, and I once again shoot my shot because I am just like, I don't want to give up. I don't want to quit. And in my response, I'm kind of like, okay, by chance, do you have welcome committee Frankie as like an offering? If not, a refund would work as well. Just because, you know, I know they know that we want this doll. I don't think Mattel's stupid. I'm sure they've gotten a huge influx of inquiries about customer service issues because everyone wants welcome committee Frankie. So, and I'm also kind of getting or feeling that like they're overwhelmed because I reached out on a Friday. It's now taken them like Friday, Monday, Tuesday, like 3 whole business days for us to finish my initial inquiry. Like that's a long time. In the past, when I've reached out to Mattel, everything's been resolved in a singular business day. It's never dragged on like this. So I'm fully aware that like they're probably bogged down with inquiries. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna be shameless. I'm gonna ask. And me asking pays off because immediately the next day on Wednesday, April 30th, I get an email from them that's like, okay, cool, that works for us. We have welcome committee Frankie. We'll send it out to you. Keep an eye out for tracking, and I am on top of the world. I'm like texting my fiance. I'm like, I'm getting the doll. I'm getting Frankie. I was just very, very, very excited. Okay, but as you can see in my story, I reached out on Friday, had a follow-up on Monday, had to respond again on Tuesday. And it wasn't until Wednesday that I finally heard back. That was 4 business days for me to resolve my initial customer service, I don't want to say complaint, but complaint, you know? So it took a long time. So on the Wednesday, they're like, okay, we'll send you out the doll. And then I think the doll came on Saturday. I was out of town because I was going to see Beyonce for her Cowboy Carter tour. So now I'm only getting to this doll finally the next week, but I have them. And I'm super excited, and it was super long-winded to explain all of this. But I think that context is important because, yeah, I'm obviously making a video on them and I want to unbox them and share them with all of you, but they're just very bizarre. Like, it feels weird making a video on a doll and feeling excited for it when like you as the viewer potentially can't just go out and buy this doll. And I'll be honest here too, not to be like a, I don't know, a doomsdayer or like negative, but I was so determined in trying to get this doll because there is a part of me deep down that just thinks they're never going to officially be released. But I could be wrong. Like, this doll could very well be out in the next couple of weeks. I'm just a skeptic with the current state of our climate politically, Mattel as well, sort of, I don't know, like everything they're doing with their layoffs. I even think they made a statement currently about like not prioritizing diversity. I don't know, maybe I'm making that up, but I just am skeptical is all I'm saying, is I'm just skeptical of Mattel as a company following through with this release. And part of me thinks that like them sending them out as a replacement is their way of trying to get this in the hands of fans. I know that sounds weird and maybe I'm like deluded, but like that's just what I think. Let me know down in the comments below, however, what y'all think of this doll and its release, if you can call it that. It's been very complicated and it was stressing me out as a, you know, G3 Monster High fan, so I'm sure it was stressing other fans out as well. And like I said, I'm not going to judge nor promote doing some unethical behavior to get this doll. You know, I was able to get them, but like, you got to do what you got to do is all I'm going to say. So shoot your shot. I don't know if they still have this doll. The only other time I had a customer service inquiry, by the way, was last October for the Ekin Getaway 2-pack. and it was the Draculaura I had. Like, she was missing tons and tons of hair, and they sent me like a refund through a check in the mail. But I looked back in my emails, and in that email, they never asked for me to write down like my case number and take a photo with that paper written down. So I noticed that was different, and maybe I'm just spitballing here. Maybe that's like Mattel customer service trying to weed through, like bullshit requests of people trying to like have issues with their dolls so they can get this doll sent to them as a replacement. I don't know. All I'm saying is be smart, make good decisions, and good luck if you're trying to get this doll. Okay, with the most long-winded intro out of the way, now I'll finally get into unboxing my Welcome Committee Frankie. I want to unbox them because, you know what, I have an out-of-box collection. As much as I would love to preserve this, they're getting out of there. But here they are in the box. It's kind of vacant up here, like there's nothing going on right here, but the packaging is kind of cool. Here they are in box. Mine, the tie is like, there's like static and it's like stuck to the plastic right there, so it's not defying gravity, it's just stuck. And you can see the jacket they come with, all of their accessories, the poster. I love the artwork. This is kind of bizarre because this Frankie is very like early G3 coded because, like I said, we've known about them for well over 2 years. So like the style and aesthetic doesn't fully match like where we are currently with Monster High G3, but I don't care. Also, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but in person, the head is totally a different shade of blue than the body. This happens sometimes with Frankie, but yeah, just forewarning, like the head is a little bit greener, I would say. And then there's some icons on the box. On the back, we have a stock photo of the doll. And then it says, as the Welcome Committee leader at Monster High, Frankie makes the new girls in school feel right at home by encouraging self-expression through fashion and friendship. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to have them. And then they were made in China, the China factories. Okay, I'm going to unbox them and I will be right back. All right, Frankie is out of the box. They are stunning. I love this doll already, but let me get into everything that they come with. So they come with 2 posters, a larger and a mini version. Lovely. It says Welcome Committee meeting at 3, free snacks. Very, very cool. And then it says Monster High, be yourself, be unique, be a monster. It's very cool. I interpret like Welcome Committee Frankie as sort of like, I don't know, when I was in high school, we had the GSA club, TK Straight Alliance. So that's sort of how I interpret this doll, is like that's the club that Frankie is leading, or maybe they're just like welcoming new students on the first day. I'm not sure, however you want to interpret it, but I love it so far. Okay, Frankie, here they are as a base doll. I added the pen so they can like sign off their clipboard. Look how cute that clipboard is. Oh, if it wants to focus. It says, welcome meeting, to-do list, new member intro, and then a snack break. It's not focused, but that's what it says, I swear. Okay, and here's everything they come with. So as you saw, it said snack break. You get lots of snacks, okay? We don't get snacks as often anymore, but you know, once again, early G3 days, they were giving us snacks out the wazoo. So we get some chips, like Frankie themed ones, Claudine themed ones, and Draculaura themed ones. And then we get 3 beverages as well. Draculaura themed, I'm guessing Frankie themed, and Claudine themed. You know, it makes sense. You're hosting a club. You want to make sure you have snacks for the first day. I get it. Then they come with a Pride themed WotC. Oh my gosh, I love the little rainbow like bandana that WotC comes with. And there's a little piece of Velcro for a pet accessory. You know what? Not too bad. I love it. Very cute. And then WotC has a little tuft of blue hair right there. And then you do get a backpack. This is Frankie's core backpack, just recolored. It is this translucent plastic with embedded silver glitter, and I love the drippy rainbow. It's even the inclusive rainbow. We have some brown and black down there. And then their same little bag charm. The skelette is printed. This is lovely. This is a very lovely backpack. Just put it over their arm. They also come with a Polaroid camera. This is a recolor from their core doll as well. I think their core doll was like a peachy color. This is a light blue. And then there is a Polaroid picture. Look at that. Monster High, and then it is all of their hands in like a little circle. This is so cute. They have a lot of things. Like this almost feels like another core refresh in a way. Like even though Frankie already had one, it's kind of what I'm getting from this stall. And then they also come with a sticker, kind of random, but you know what? I'm not complaining. It's kind of cute. And then lastly, they have a jacket. Now, this is brand new. It's nice, metallic and shiny, but you know this fabric's gonna peel over time. And me being me, like I'm not gonna wanna crease these arms. So I'll show you how this looks on, but I'm probably not gonna keep it on them just because I want to be able to pose Frankie, and this type of jacket, I know I'm gonna like have them just T-posed, not bending their arms, and it's not gonna be fun. But there are really cute like badges on there, a rainbow pride heart, a skelet, a Monster High pennant, and then another little badge that says all welcome. Very cool. And that is everything that Welcome Committee Frankie comes with. Now let's get into the base doll. Getting into the base doll of Welcome Committee Frankie, starting off with their hair and makeup. I think both are superb. Starting off with the hair, I just love how cool toned and icy this white saran hair is. Frankie's hair is, you know, prone to yellowing, and it's just hard to find nice white saran like this. So I just love the white hair. It's very classic Frankie. Like lately Frankie's been rocking a lot of black hair. So I like seeing, you know, kind of classic Frankie vibes with this mostly white hair. And then we have some black and blue streaks throughout. They have a side part. This hair is also sort of wavy. I'm gonna say wavy, not fully curly. Like this is a sort of wavy box hair. You can see there's like an idea of a curl kind of going on here. Not terrible. Like right there is kind of nice, I suppose. Yeah, it's box hair. It's okay. It's not the best styled wise. I'll probably have to restyle it and curl it myself. But still, I like seeing Frankie getting wavy hair because they never get wavy hair. They always just have straight hair. So this is kind of nice for a change, I suppose. And then the star of the show is this gorgeous braid. This reminds me of the live action Monster High film, sort of some of the hairstyles that Frankie had in that. It's this nice Dutch braid. Look how beautiful that is. And mine's not even perfect. Like there's a lot of kind of out of place, messy hairs there, but I don't really even mind because it's such a gorgeous factory style. I have pretty good hair skills. Like I think I'm pretty good with hair, and I'm intimidated to take this down and recreate it. I think it's a Dutch braid. There's a lot of weaving and pulling like new hair strands. So it's a lot of hair management and like, you know, little bits of hair with my big hands. This just feels really scary to try to recreate. So I might just not. I might just wash the hair and recurl it and keep this nice braid right here as is. And then there's a little piece of black elastic, and it's kind of secured back here. Like the braid is pretty good. Like it's got some wiggle to it, but it's pretty secure. And overall, I think the hairstyle is a 10 out of 10. I just love seeing complex hairstyles on Monster High dolls, and that's probably my main complaint with G3 Monster High, is that the polypropylene distracts us from the bigger issue, which is just lackluster, uninspired hairstyles. And I feel like Monster High gets away with it because they give a lot of like headsets or like headpieces. So, you know, all they can really have is just like straight middle part hair. If you look at like Monster Fest or Monster Mysteries Ultimate Secrets, like those dolls have things going on. But I want more of this. I want more complex hairstyles for Monster High. I think both adults and kids deserve it. So love this hairstyle. Now, getting into their face. This is a very early G3 Frankie face. You can tell by the eye shape and the brows, but I don't mind. I do not mind it at all because I love the black lipstick. Now, I've been looking at my doll, and front facing, like my screening is pretty great, but I'm inspecting, and from this angle, you can tell that my lips are a little crooked. Like you see right there, they just kind of, they're not perfectly even. It's not the end of the world. I don't care. They still look gorgeous. They have pretty simple makeup. It's blue, yellow, and pink eyeshadow. They have their piercing. Pretty classic Frankie face. Very, very nice. No complaints on my part. Maybe here you can also see that the head is a little bit different from the body. Not the end of the world. I think this is the long neck as well, which is interesting. As far as like when this doll was produced, I'm very curious. But yeah, they do have the long neck. And then they are sporting some silver earrings. These are a recolor from Ultimate Secrets Series 1 Frankie. This is the only first time that we're seeing them reproduced. Like since Ultimate Secrets Series 1, we have not seen these earrings again. They're okay. They're just chunky. They're like huge earrings. but just like kind of this gray silver plastic. Going on down, they have a collared tank top with this beautiful pink and blue ribbon that just feels like a reference to the trans flag, which I love. And then they have an actual fabric black tie. It's a little flimsy, a little cheap, but you know what? They're trying. They're trying. I think I prefer this versus the plastic tie and collar accessory that Frankie usually gets, so I appreciate the effort. And then they have these really cool like arm warmers, I guess you could call them, in this pattern that is sort of this zigzag graphic black, white, pink, and yellow design. I love these, and it also makes me not want to cover them up with the jacket just because I think this looks really cool. So I'm a huge fan of that. And then once again, there's their neon clipboard. They have a pen so they can fill out their clipboard. And then going on down, we have a belt right here. It's like a studded belt. There's two belts, like this big studs and then little studs, a chain, a little lightning bolt accessory. I like a little bit of paint detail with their skullet. Pretty nice belt accessory, probably their nicest belt accessory that they've gotten so far. And we have not seen this on any other Frankie doll. So fingers crossed we see it again because I think this belt is superb. There are two clasps in the back for it, as you can see right there, so it stays nice and snug. And then probably the most like up in the air part of their design, I like it, but I can foresee people not liking it, is their pant situation. Two things. It's that classic like asymmetrical Frankie cut and silhouette where you have the long pant with like the short on the other side. But I get it. This is part of Frankie's design and personality. They want to highlight their prosthetic. So I understand it. What I don't like is just this shiny, pleathery fabric. I just feel like this is prone to peeling. So I don't love the material that's used. And it's not like super form fitting on this side right here. Like it could be a little bit, I don't know, tailored a little bit nicer. The print is whatever. It's sort of this black and white plaid with some, you know, zigzag crisscross stripes that are in blue, pink, and yellow. It's a fine print. It's nothing exceptional. It gets the job done, I suppose. The belt really makes it for me. And then even better are these shoes. These are once again another recolored piece, but we don't see these often. These are on the Frankie Monsteristas like budget doll. That's a little hard to come by, but these are just the most like Frankenstein inspired pair of shoes ever. And these are superb because they have so much detail. We have a yellow to pink to blue ombre. This side says be yourself. This side says be unique. I just love that. It's like, it's so corny. But for the theme of this doll, it just fits. You know, like Frankie would go all out, mix all of these patterns, represent, you know, the whole LGBTQ plus community as much as they can represent in one doll with as many colors as possible. So for that, I kind of love this tacky mess. You know, it works for me and what I want out of a pride-themed Monster High doll. I think overall, they are really, really cool. Okay, now let me try and put on the jacket. Also, the clipboard came with some elastic holding in place, which I kind of love. So I kind of want to keep it there because it makes it easy to display the clipboard. And then, oh, there goes the Polaroid camera. Okay, let me take off the other hand. Do we take these off or should we just put the jacket over it? Like, what's the vibe? What's the move? I think we just keep them on. I'm gonna be lazy so I can just get this jacket on them pretty quickly. It is kind of nice. I do miss when dolls come with more like fashion accessories. So this is a huge plus in my book, even if the material is not my favorite, you know? Okay, I do think keeping the sleeves on was not the right move, but it's already done. So what are you gonna do? Okay. Wait, I kind of like that. That's not bad actually. The metallic silver is kind of fun, very Frankie Stein. And with the tie and everything, the tailoring is kind of cute with all like the different collars going on, the stitches on the sleeves. Oh, I actually kind of like this. Wait, okay. I was kind of unsure, but now that I'm seeing it on Frankie, I'm kind of a fan. Let's give them back their clipboard if I can. And then their other hand. Okay. y'all are seeing me do my best to dress this doll up. Okay. What do we think with the jacket? See, like, I just don't want to bend the arm like that. Like, that sucks. So, like I said, you can already see me just bending it. You can see like a tiny little crease right there. That's why if I were to display them in this, they're literally going to be standing like this the entire time. Like that. Like, arms not bent, because I want to preserve this jacket as long as I can. But I do like it. I do like it. I was skeptical. Seeing it on the doll, I actually think it looks kind of nice. All right, let me try and share and gather my final thoughts as clear and concise as possible. The actual doll, the fashion, the makeup, the hair, I think is wonderful and lovely. I love the shoes in particular. That might be my favorite. And I love the top right here, like the tank top with the tie and the collar and the little trans ribbon. I love that. I also love the hairstyle and the black lipstick. So there's a lot of things that I think are very standout. Also, just the amount of accessories that you get that is thematic and, kind of fun and different, I enjoy. Now, as far as like what the doll means and represents, it's very nuanced as well. I think as an adult, I love gay shit. I'm gay, so I love to see gay shit. And especially for like something that I love, like Monster High, where it is sort of baked into the essence of the brand, right? Like, be yourself, be unique, be a monster. Diversity sort of at the core of what Monster High represents. So it's nice to see them sort of put their money where their mouth is, I suppose, and give us a doll like this. Frankie's non-binary. They're sort of, I guess, spearheading the LGBTQ plus representation for the Monster High crew. And I just love that. It fits Frankie's character, and seeing a doll like this is just wonderful. I love it. But it's hard to praise because you can't buy this doll. So, I got it through the means that I acquired it, but like, I think this doll would be wonderful for children to get and see this type of explicit representation, but they can't currently do that. And I did do more research since I started filming this, and it looks like Mattel is pulling back on disclosing its DEI initiatives to shareholders. They're a publicly traded company, so they're trying to reel back on that aspect of the brand, which is frustrating and has me truly skeptical if we'll actually see this doll have a major wide retail release. So it's hard for me to sit here and praise like, oh my God, Mattel, you guys are so great and inclusive. We love you, when like they have not released this doll yet, which makes me believe that like what this doll represents, they're currently having quarrels over, right? Like, does Mattel not want to release this doll and get bad PR and, have news and media outlets run with like, oh, Mattel releasing type of LGBTQ themed doll? Like, I don't know what type of PR teams and campaigns they have that are creating skepticism within the brand. So as a fan, these are the thoughts that I'm thinking. And that's why it's hard for me to like 100% give my flowers to Monster High and Mattel, because this was so difficult to get. And it should not have been difficult. We should have just been able to easily buy this doll for what they represent, how much this doll means to so many people. It's just very, very frustrating. So my answer is not super black and white. There's a lot of gray on how I feel. I love this doll. I'm going to cherish them in my collection, and I hope that they do get a wide release soon, so anyone else out there who wants this doll can own them. I think the Monster High fans are very, very passionate people, and I've seen so many other people determined to get this doll, which makes me happy. I love that like we're all very persistent and like-minded in like getting what we want, which is fun fashion dolls, right? So kudos to all of you other fans out there who managed to get this doll one way or another. I support you. That being said, Mattel, I'm watching you. You're not off the hook. Release the gay doll now. Okay, we want Frankie. If this doll gets released, I will buy more. I will buy a second one to keep in box. Like, I'm serious. Like, I want another one of these dolls. I'm being so for real right now. So, be vigilant. Do not let these corporations just get an easy pass because they do one good thing. With everything they do that's good, there's also probably 10 other evil things that they're doing. So I'm not going to sit here and sing a corporation's praises. I'm always skeptical here. But for like 1/2 millisecond, you guys get a pass today because this doll is wonderful. Okay, that is most of my thoughts. This has been a long one, but I love Monster High dolls. I love rambling. Oh wait, before I sign off, I did make my own like Pride themed custom Frankie doll like well over a year ago because this doll was never releasing. So now I have 2 Pride themed Frankie dolls. Maybe I'll get a third in the future. Who knows? Like, give us more LGBTQ themed Frankie dolls. I'll take it. Like, holiday doll, holiday Pride Frankie doll. I don't know. Let's manifest it together. Okay? Okay. Well, for real this time, that is all I have to share. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and watching this wild ride of a video. My name is Eli. This is my channel, Draculasia, where I do lots of doll-related things, mostly Monster High, but not exclusively Monster High. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.